Hi people, it's me Anja, my pronouns are she, her, and welcome back to my channel. So before we get into these questions, I'm sorry in advance if this video ends up being really chaotic. That's because this is the third video that I decided to film today, and it's really hot out. So yeah, I'm really hot. Although I'm always really hot, let's be honest, no matter what the weather is. But anyway, let's just get started. Today's video is the Unpopular Opinions book tag, so let's hope that I don't get cancelled after this video. Anyway, the first question is, what's a popular book or series that you didn't like? There are so many really popular book or series that I didn't like. The Cruel Prince, The Hazelwood, A Court of Thorns and Roses, Cinder. There are literally so many. So those are the top 4 that came to the top of my head. So yeah. The second question is, what's a popular book or series that everyone seems to hate that you love? Probably the Glacier trilogy by Leigh Bardugo, which by the way, I didn't know that everybody hated it until I joined Book Twitter, because Book Twitter is probably the biggest bookish community that I've ever joined. So yeah, I love the Shadow and Bone trilogy, literally so much. I love these characters, I love the plot, I love the world. Leigh Bardugo is such a talented queen, and I love her so much. I think that her books absolutely deserve all the hype that they've received. So yeah. Anyway, the third question is, what's a love triangle where the main character ends up with the person that you didn't want, or an OTP that you didn't like? So this may be my most unpopular Grisha-verse opinion, but here we go. I don't personally ship Zoya and Nikolai from the King of Skulls duology, because frankly, I like them both better individually than together, you know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily ship Zoya or Nikolai with any other characters ever, and I understand that their romance is well developed, and I definitely understand why people ship them. I just personally don't. So yeah, there you have it. The fourth question is, what's a popular book genre that you rarely read? I don't have any, I don't think. Maybe like thrillers or horror books or anything like that, because the book genres that are my favorites, which by the way are fantasy, contemporary, and historical fiction, are pretty popular in their own way. So I don't really think that there are any book genres that are really popular or just as popular as YA fantasy that I don't really reach for. You know what I mean? But maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, the book genres that I don't typically read are like horror or thrillers or stuff like that, but I have read a couple of thrillers that I've really enjoyed, but most of the time I don't really like them because I tend to find them to be very predictable, you know? So anyway, the next question is, who's a popular or beloved character that you didn't like? I don't like the Darkling from the Glacier trilogy. Actually, here's the thing, I don't like him as a person. I think that he's a really well-developed, well, not really well-developed, he's a really distinct character, but I don't like him as a person at all, because he's like a terrible, awful human being. He's so bad, and you can really tell that Leigh Bardugo modeled Darklina after an abusive relationship that she went through herself, and it makes me so mad to see people ship Darklina. Like, imagine how triggering it is for Leigh Bardugo to see all these people who ship this relationship that's modeled off of an abusive relationship that she went through. Like, that's so awful. Anyway, I don't like the Darkling at all. I would say that he's a very distinct character, but he's a terrible person. Like, he's a very good villain, you know what I mean? But he's an awful person. I don't know if that makes any sense, but basically my answer is the Darkling from the Glacier trilogy. So yeah, there you have it. Anyway, the sixth question is, who's a popular author that you can't seem to get into? Any of the authors, well, not any of the authors, but some of the authors that I mentioned earlier for the first question. At first I said any of the authors, but then I realized that Melissa Meyer, who wrote Cinder, I've enjoyed some of her other books, like the Renegades trilogy, and I am really excited for her November release that I can't really remember the title of at the moment. But anyway, the point is, I would say probably like Holly Black, or Sarah J. Maas, or Cassandra Clare, or any of those people. So, yeah, that's my answer. The next question is, what's a popular book trope that you're tired of? I don't have one, I don't think. Oh, no, I do. Enemies to lovers. I don't like enemies to lovers that much. I would say that there are a few exceptions to that. Like Today, Tonight, and Tomorrow is so good. But like What's Not to Love is absolutely not good. So I would say that there are a few rare exceptions to enemies to lovers, but I don't really like enemies to lovers that much, and I also don't really like insta-love at all. So yeah, probably enemies to lovers and insta-love, those are the two popular book tropes that I hate and I think should disappear forever. So the next question is, what's a popular series that you have no interest in at all? The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I don't know why that's the first one that came to mind, but I have no interest in that. I can't think of anything else because I feel like this question is just a repeat of the first question. So yeah, I don't really have an answer for you because I can't think of anything else that I haven't already named. So yeah, maybe this video will be less chaotic than I thought. Anyway, the last question is, what's a film/TV show adaptation that you preferred over the book? I haven't seen a whole lot of TV show and film adaptations that I preferred over the book, because whenever I go into something that I know is a TV show/film adaptation, I know that I'm going to prefer the books no matter what. Like The Hunger Games and Harry Potter and Shadow and Bone, I definitely preferred the books, so I don't really have an answer for this. So yeah, and also I typically don't watch TV show or film adaptations if I didn't like the book to begin with. Like for example, the third To All the Boys I've Loved Before film, which by the way is the only film of that trilogy that I've seen. I don't really remember if that film is better than the books because I read the original book trilogy in the year that the first film came out. So I don't really remember if I would say that I prefer the film or the book, because I don't really remember what I thought of the book. Anyway, I don't really remember why I brought that up. The point is, I don't have an answer for this question. So yeah, that's the end of this chaotic video. Maybe it was less chaotic than you think it is, but anyway, the point is, if you enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the bicycle emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Hopefully my next video won't be as chaotic as this one. But anyway, thanks for watching. Bye!